Shalom Uvracha, guys. I hope things are well by you and that you're happy and that things are developing in the right pace for you to stay balanced. I wanted to read for you a very nice advice from Rebbe Nachman of Breslev from Torah Gimel in Likutei Moharan, the third Torah in Likutei Moharan. And Rebbe Nachman is saying that music is a very divine thing and very powerful and very energetic and comes from a very high source and elevated in the heavens. And Rebbe Nachman is telling us that music can affect the person in a beautiful way, in a great way, and also in a very negative way. And it depends in the character traits of the player himself. If you hear music from an evil person, that player is evil, so it can destroy and ruin certain things for you while you try to serve the Creator. But when you hear from a kosher player, from an honest and sincere player, so then it will be good for the person to his Avodat Hashem, for him while tries to serve the Creator. Now, I know that many people, while trying to serve the Creator and wanting to do good, many times they find themselves falling to sadness and despair and frustration because of certain advice that they hear, because of certain lessons that they want to be able to keep and preserve. But they're finding it too hard to keep and they don't know how to do it properly, and therefore they're falling to sadness. Now I wanted to just mention that sadness is a worse enemy than music. Music might hurt a person in a certain aspect, but sadness for not being able to hear the right music will kick the person down from all levels. So even though that it's very important for the person to follow the advice that the Torah or the righteous ones or the rabbis are teaching and guiding us, but if you find yourself that because of those advice you fall to sadness because you're not able to keep up with them, or that they're too high for you, or that you're just in a different place and you just don't find yourself relate to that in a way that will practically fit to your life and to your power and to your ability, so sadness is a worst enemy, and you must stay away from sadness in the maximum that you can. So Rebbe Nachman is explaining to us that music can hurt a person if the music is a music that being played by an evil person, but if the musician or the player are honest people and nice and sincere, so their music will help the person to rise. Now, how can that be? How music can affect so much on the spirit of a person? Rabbi Nachman is saying, because the sounds, the voice of play, the tunes, the music, are coming from heavenly birds. Like it's written in the Midrash, in the ancient scripts, it's written over there that there are angels in heavens that they have a certain voice, and the impure person with leprosy, the verse is saying that a leprosy, a person that been impured by leprosy with tzaraat, so his purification depends in two sacrifices. Which sacrifices? He needs to bring two birds. So the Midrash is asking why the person who been impured by leprosy, contaminated by leprosy, his purification depends in two birds. So the Midrash is explaining the one who makes the voice will come and atone for the one who made voices. What does it mean? That the forgiveness for a sin that happened with voice will be erased and forgiven by someone who brings voice. The one who been impure by leprosy, because the reason for his contamination was because he was talking bad things. He had a certain sin, like we know about Miriam, the sister of Moses, that when they were in the desert, she was talking bad things about Moses, and suddenly she has been contaminated, and signs of leprosy appeared on her flesh, on her skin. So it's a clear lesson that leprosy is coming to people because of lashon hara, because of talking bad things. Now, the sin that a person committed, violated in a certain way, needs to be erased, needs to be forgiven. So the person needs to sacrifice something for himself that will be in a certain equal way to the sin itself. If a person now took money from a person, he cannot bring back songs. If you hurt someone's feeling, you cannot please him with water. You need to fix in the same thing that you spoiled. So if a person was talking bad things, so the way to fix it is by sacrificing something that will talk in a positive way. Now, in those days of the temple, people could bring animals, people could bring sacrifices. But today in our generation, there are no animals that you can sacrifice, and there is no temple, and there is no altar that you can sacrifice animals on it. Therefore, the purification depends only in tshuva, that the person will confess and will stand and will apologize. And I explained it last week in a class that when a person violated something and he made a mistake, now when he sinned, so he created certain lacking of, like, there is a certain descriptions of the felony, of the crime that he did. For an example, if a person was talking bad things, so certain words will define his sin. He was talking about that person. He was saying things that were not right on that person. Now, how will you fix it? You need to speak the opposite. For an example, you go and you talk words of tshuva. You're going to go and try to pray and to do hitbodedut and to talk to Hashem about what you did. And in that way, while you are having that conversation with Hashem, you're going to say words that will atone, that will fix. You will say things that will fix the lacking that you created by saying bad things on that person. How are you going to do that? By opening your heart in an honest way and apologizing in front of God, in front of the Creator, confessing on the specific sin or violation that you committed, and then you will speak to the Creator on the same things, and by that you're going to pull out the same combinations that you created while sinning. If you were talking bad things about that person, now in your hitbodedut, in your tshuva, in your prayer, you can say, Hashem, I am sorry that I was talking bad things about that person. You're not going to say, Hashem, I'm sorry that I went surfing. You will not say, Hashem, I'm sorry I drank water. You're going to mention words that will come out from the same topic of your violation. What that you did was to talk bad things about that person. Let's say that his name was Moses. So, Hashem, I'm sorry I was talking bad things about Moses. Those words will fix the fact that I was talking bad things about Moses. When you were sinning, you created a certain combination by your violation. There was a certain description to that sin. And to fix it, you need to use the same words that will describe the opposite of what that you created while sinning. So you see that it's coming in an equal way. The person that sinned and violated in walking and talking gossip and bad things about others, he needs to bring the sacrifice that will be in the equal amount, that will worth the same for it to erase the sin, for it to atone for the violation. So we see that there are birds in heaven, and those pure animals, pure godly birds, are bringing down the voice to the world. So also we know that the two angels that were standing on the top of the Holy Ark were with the same shape of birds. They had wings covering them from the back. So we can see from that music is coming from a very high and divine place, a heavenly place, and in that place there are holy birds that are not dressed in physical body with feathers and a beak. We're talking about of spiritual beings that are bringing down the music in its source of inspiration. So, like we saw that the Midrash is saying, Yavo kalanya v'yichaper al kalanya, that one who brings down voices, he will come and help to erase a sin that took place by voice. So you see that there is a place, a heavenly place, that is pouring down to this world the ability to speak and to sing. He is the source of voices and sounds and tunes and music. So a person, when he reveals the voice, he reveals it through the intention of his heart. So if the one who plays is an evil person and his intentions while playing are evil, are selfish and self-centered, so the music will be impure, will be contaminated by him. And then the ones who will listen to that music will not enjoy it spiritually. They might physically enjoy it. It might take them to some places of a fake and imaginary pleasure. But in spiritual reality, they will not be uplifted and inspired and healed by that music, because that impure player took those sounds that came from a godly place and spoiled them with his low intention. But when a person is honest and is playing with the right mindset, and his passion and desire is honest and accepted by God, by the Creator, so everyone who will listen always to his music will enjoy purity and godliness and inspiration from his music. So we can see how great the potential of music is and how important it is for those who are honest and sincere to create music. If you know that your intentions are pure, if you know that you want other people to come closer to the Creator, and you have the ability to play, you have the ability to create music, you know how to sing or how to compose or how to play, you must do that, because people will come closer and closer to the Creator by your talents. And any other of our talents for sure are as powerful and meaningful if we're going to use them properly. So therefore, every person with talents, with great abilities, with power, must go and share those treasures that they've been blessed with by the Creator and make the world a better place to live in. About what we said before, that advice to try to listen to music by a kosher player, again, it's not worse than to fall to sadness. So to all those guys that are willing to hear only pure music and wants to be purified by music, but finding it very hard to find that pure music to purify their ears and to cleanse their hearts and to refresh their thoughts and soul, don't fall to sadness because of that. And don't allow yourself to go with negative thoughts of, oh, I just heard the music that probably came out of a of a dark player, of a player that does not care about God, someone evil, someone vicious. Don't go with that negative approach, because Rabbi Nachman of Breslev also said that if a person's heart is aimed to learn oral Torah, he is willing to learn Torah from the sages, like the Talmud, like the Gemara. So by that intention of his heart, so the music that was played by an evil player will not damage him. In the same Torah, Rabbi Nachman of Breslev is saying that there is a way to fix that thing, that a person will be able to listen to music by any player, by any person, is by the fact that a person will learn at night oral Torah, that is in the aspect of Gemara at night, learning Gemara at night. So it does not have to be Gemara, and it does not have to be at night, because some of our days are in the aspect of night as well, because of the thick darkness of them. And some of the oral Torah that we will learn, even if it's not an exact portion that is written in the books of Talmud or Gemara, will also be considered as oral Torah, because that it's a wisdom that's been given from mouth to ear, from earlier generations till today. So when you hear wisdom from righteous ones, from righteous people, and that wisdom is purifying your thoughts and your mind in the darkness of exile, so even that is already enough to give you the ability to listen to any kind of music from any player, even a player that is not kosher, that his intentions are not as pure and holy as we wish they would be. So, main thing is not to fall to sadness and to keep positive and cheerful and joyful, and Be'ezrat Hashem, the Creator, will heal and reveal His godliness to us all. Amen. Thank you. The world does not exist, because Olam Milshon Ne'elem, the world is just blocking the light of truth. The world called Alma Deshika, world of light, is just a fake. We're just inside of an illusion. It's just a fake. We're just inside of an illusion.
We're just